Welcome to our Christmas extravaganza. I'm going to do a little bit of a basic layout with our Santa Claus first, because in between we're going to be working on some of the little accessories that came with your kit and making up some of the toys and the presents that'll go by his tree. Remember, Santa's got to be between 5.5 and 6 inches. So I've marked off my board, which is in inches already, and I've laid him out because we're going to do him slightly differently to the way we normally do our dolls. We're going to, in fact, lay him out. We're going to put his boots on last. So we're not going to glue the pipe cleaners into his boots and dress around it. We're going to dress him and then put his boots on, so his clothes tuck nicely into his boots. So I'm going to just lay him out there just to get a basic idea of the length of his legs. I've already glued my hands onto my pipe cleaner, so I just want to get that, snip that quickly and get a bit of an idea of where that should be. Well, that's basically where his elbow would be, so I guess his shoulder would be around about there. So lay him on that so we can sort of just make sure that we're right. And again, elbow, shoulder, and just lay it gently there so we can see. I'm going to take 2 pipe cleaners and I'm going to twist them. We need to be fairly accurate here, because once we put the pipe cleaners in his shoes with his clothes on, we want him to still be the right height. So I'm going to just mark my pipe cleaners quickly so that I know. This is where his boots come to, so it's marked there. We're going to cover it up just now, and that's where his body is going to be. Now I can take his boots away. I know his body's got to fit in there, so I'll twist these up quickly. Bend them down. Now I tend to enjoy, I do my body slightly differently. He's got a nice fat tummy and I want to make him quite a nice chunky Santa Claus. So I want to just do, I use batting, normal quilting batting, cutting to strips of about 1 inch. And then I cover that batting once I've finished twisting it onto his legs and arms and things with, we use florist tape, but you can use whatever medium you're used to using. Right, let's see. Now if you want to, you can actually split your batting into a thinner, and remember not too thick here at the top, it's got to fit into the body there. So I'm going to just whip it around there once or twice and then take it down to his legs. And here you can actually play quite nicely with the piece. Remember, don't go past that mark where his boots are going to go on, and don't make them too thick. You've got a velvet for his clothes, which already is a fairly thick fabric. So we just want to give him body like that. And let's do the other leg. And there we are. It's as simple as that. Now, while we're uploading this DVD, we're going to send out the patterns, and your pattern sheet, in fact, looks like that. All these pattern pieces are cut out in the red velvet. Where I've done the funny little squiggles across the bottom, it's where our trim is going to go. This funny little piece here is in fact where Santa's front of his jacket overlaps. But we'll do a bit more about that when we actually start dressing him. You'll get the email with that pattern shortly, as well as the treetop angel. Just to give you an idea of what we're actually doing, I'm going to just turn the camera around slightly and you can see Santa. I made my Santa sleeping, but most of you ordered Santas that were awake, so we're not going to have him sitting in a chair like I've got mine. There's our treetop angel. I crocheted my treetop angel's outfit, but there is lace in your kit to make one out of lace. When I have a chance, I will write the pattern out as well, but I will show you how to do it in the lace for now. And as you can see, Santa's room is starting to grow with all the goodies that we've been adding as we go along. I tend to always like something a little bit personal in each thing I do, and I went to my son's wedding last weekend, and this is a champagne cork out of one of their bottles of champagne, which I've made into a side table for Santa. So I always look at this box fondly and remember my kids. This is Robbie's snow globe. Those of you that know, Robbie was my son, and he loved snow globes. He collected them, so we've got to have the Christmas snow globe here too. There are lots of little things in your kits, and slowly over the next day or two we will go through each one of them systematically and show you how we did it. Great. Once you've got your body that you happy, firstly that it can still fit into center. You can sort of get the idea there. Yes, it fits quite nicely. So push it where the crutch is going to go. Make sure we can get all this nicely in, so these legs will show out quite nicely. If you find your Santa is a little bit rough, for those of you that took unpainted Santas, just take a grit stick rubber and just give him a bit of a clean off. You'll find in the kilns and stuff we pick up bits of dust. Normally if I've painted them we would have done this for you already, but if you ordered the unpainted one you might find yours got a couple of little spots here and there, and just do that. Now you'll see I haven't painted this Santa, mainly because I tend to paint my dolls when I'm finished them. Somehow they never start out and end the way I imagine them, so I dress them first and then decide to paint them. Great, so want to check our size here again. Yes, check our boots. If he's got his boots on, he's exactly 5 3/4, which is lovely. Perfect. And then I take my florist tape, and again we just wrap it around. Now the florist tape will actually allow you to flatten it slightly, so you might use quite a lot. What's nice about the florist tape is that it stretches and gives quite nice body. Now I know Donna likes to use Elastoplast, but I can't get the Elastoplast that she uses, so I've always done it with the florist tape. I think one of the first things I learned from, I think probably from Joy Parker, was the florist tape. So as we go we sort of just push it down and we wrap our body sufficiently that it's got enough body, and it closes it up. Now when you've finished wrapping your florist tape around, you can actually glue this piece into your doll. Now I'm going to glue it and then leave it till tomorrow, so when we start tomorrow dressing Santa we're ready. Now we're lucky in South Africa, tomorrow is a public holiday, so I'll be online bright and early and talk you through some of the competitions we're going to do leading up to Christmas. I want to take my paintbrush, my ever faithful paintbrush, and just make sure Santa's insides are all inside him, and just push it up nicely and get the, there we go. Now I didn't put super glue on because I'm going to let it dry naturally overnight, and I'm going to add a little bit more bulk here once this has dried nicely, so you don't suddenly have this drop out. I'm not going to worry too much about his arms and his hands at this stage because his coat really covers all this, but you can, if you want to, again add a bit of this on just to give you a little bit of bulk. Just want to twist it around once or twice. You might even find you don't need to put the florist tape over. I mean, this is quite sufficient to in fact work with. Just dollop of glue, turn it over our ever faithful clothing pegs. There we go, and that's his one arm ready. I'm going to do the same with this one quickly. As I'm sitting here, I can hear the sea and the birds. Now, I'm not sure if you can hear it. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon here. So if we start hearing the birds coming into the trees and stuff. And just to give you an idea of what my studio looks like, I'm going to take the camera off slightly and show you a quick walk around of what my studio actually looks like. Barring the mess, of course. I'm going to get the camera off the tripod. Okay, this is my desk, and when I look out I see those trees, and that is where all the birds are that you can hear in the background. And if we walk slightly further back, this of course is my wonderful mess, but if I come out to the patio here, you will in fact see the sea. Now that is the sound that we can hear in the background, and of course there you hear the birds again. Okay, everything back on the tripod again. I'm going to leave Santa to dry for now, and I'm going to start looking at some of our little little knickknacks that came with your kit. One of the ones that came with your kit was a pull-along toy. Now I in fact used my duck and made it into the pull-along toy, which is going to look like that when we finished. Some of you were lucky enough, I in fact cut up the beads for you, but I think after I got to about 30 beads I was getting a bit tired of doing it. But for those of you that have to still separate your beads, you just take your sharp scalpel and carefully where the ridge is, push into the ridge gently like that, and you will in fact separate them to single wheels. Whoops, okay, without losing them like I just did. There we go. Ah, there, I can hear it cutting through.